Hey all, this is Solo Brick bringing you another YouTube video, and today we're going to be covering RoboQuest. RoboQuest is an action-like roguelike shooter with heavy sort of aesthetics to Borderland, and the combat and shoot design is similar to Borderland, but they've added a roguelike aspect to the game in terms of when you level up, you get different sort of roguelike aspects, as in different skills and different abilities you can then level up throughout the game and increase to make a build while you're going through the levels. It has a similar aspect to the designs in roguelike games where you go through different areas, beat the areas, get skill cards, and when you level up you also get skill cards, but it has the shooter aspect and the shooter gameplay of the Borderlands gene. So what we're going to do is, this is our main hub. This is RoboQuest main hub. Here you have everything you need. Over here is the computer where you can change the difficulty. I put it at standard. Once you beat it on standard, then you go to hard. Then you keep going up and up in difficulties. That's what I normally do. Over here you have the Gadget Rack. So when you go throughout the game, you will pick up rare items that you will give to people in the levels, and they will give you these different equipables that then you can equip to add a permanent buff to when you start the game. Every time you go through the levels, every time you start the game, this will be here as an add-on sort of thing, right? So last run I did, I unlocked the jetpack. The jetpack is insane, because now what happens is, with the jetpack, when you jump and hold the jump button, you actually boost. So you can actually boost over stuff. You can actually get past obstacles you couldn't get past before, because you can just boost over them now, right? That's super effective and so handy, dude. I struggle so much with some of these. And you get all these different types of buff. Obviously I haven't unlocked them all, because I'm still going through the game. I'm about 15 to 20 hours into the game at the moment. So you have classes in this game. These classes have their own set of skills. So think of this as a roguelike, with these skill classes being roguelike. So every single class you have has a perk. So these perks are what you unlock throughout the game as level up rewards, right? So for example, I use this one a lot on the Guardian. So increases elemental damage by 5%. Every 4 seconds, roll a random element. Your weapon will deal that damage in that element. Increase element's auto critical chance by 10% and its critical damage by 10%. So every 4 seconds, you get a random element that you shoot out as a bullet, and that's actually insane, dude. If you're using a Gatling gun or something like that, you actually get all different elements all the time, and it does a lot more damage, and some enemies are weak against certain elements. So you can stack that with something like this. Increase impact by 10%, increase weapon damage by 40%, enemies that are close within 7.5 meters. So you stack that with that, so you get elemental damage and 40% increased damage while they're close to you. You can then go and stack it with this. Every 4 shots increase your next weapon shot damage by 60%. Every 4 shots. Now you think about that. Machine guns, Gatling guns, shotguns, every 4 shots you'll have increased damage. Every 4 shots you'll have increased elemental damage with a random element. And if they're close to you, have an extra 40% damage on top. And you can also stack it with this one as well. On the first 33% of your ammo clip, increase your weapon damage by 30%. While top quality is activated, increase weapon auto critical chance by 20%. You can see where this is going. The builds you can make are insane. The more you level up, the more you get these passives, and the more crazy the builds become. As you can see, most of them I haven't unlocked. That's because I haven't used this character to a higher level yet, because I either die too early or I just don't level up quick enough. I just don't level up. I'm focusing my points on unlocking weapons and stuff rather than leveling up, right? So every single class is different. So for example, you have my main class, the Guardian. Its main ability is activating a vulnerable bubble for 3 seconds. You can use that when you trigger the skill. It's like Borderlands in the sense you press the trigger buttons or a button on the keyboard and it will activate that skill. And you have a bash, which is your normal melee attack. Every single class has a different melee attack. So the first attack, rocket, that is your main damage and dealing long range ability, and shorty is your short range melee attack ability. And it also has passive as well, so increase weapon impact by 10%, magazine by 25%, and energy by 15%. That's a passive skill you get from level 1 for the class. And they all have different class passives. And in terms of the classes, you have Guardian, you have Commando, you have Ranger, you have Recon, which is sort of stealth. You have Engineer, which summons loads of turrets, which is I need to use him. I'm going to start using him today because I want to see how many turrets you can actually summon. That'd be insane. And the Recon, I want to use the Recon as well. These two I unlocked last night. I got to the last level of the game and then died to the boss with a random. So in this game, you can actually play with random people. 2 people. You can play 2-player if you want with a friend, or you can play with a random person in a match finder, right? So I need to find the cell to unlock this one. I don't know how I'm going to find the chromatic cell. I don't know. I'm going to have to try and find it. So throughout the games you play on RoboQuest, you will go through random areas and you will pick up there's like hidden areas in the areas themselves, right? So like, for example, there is a waterfall and you can actually go behind a waterfall and then unlock a secret area. You can then use this secret area to trade an item which you find from a different area to give to him, and he'll give you the rocket boost jetpack. Okay, so I did that yesterday. You get the rocket boost jetpack from the secret area, you find the item he needs from another secret area to give to him to unlock another secret item, which is the jetpack, which then I can now boost over a majority of stuff that I was struggling to do in terms of obstacles and stuff like that. And it's just cool, dude, right? Because there's so many unlockables, so many different findable stuff like you don't know about, and it's just awesome that you just randomly start finding this stuff. And when you find this stuff, you actually unlock different things. So I found a spear, right? I just randomly found a spear out of nowhere, and when I picked up the spear, it said class unlocked. And I went to my class and unlocked the ranger. Okay, so you have to find this stuff to unlock different classes. You can't unlock them any other way. And I think it's cool because it makes you go out and find and look for the areas that are hidden and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely cool. And I think it's good how they've done it. As you can see by the aesthetic of the game, it's very Borderlands style gameplay, very Borderlands style art, but that's not a bad thing. So this is passive, right? So this is your passive tree. You unlock wrenches while you go out through the game. You kill enemies, sometimes they drop them. Sometimes you do a quest or whatever and they drop them. When you get enough wrenches, which is your currency, you can go here and spend them. So 16 wrenches to unlock this, 12 wrenches to unlock this. So this is your passive skill tree, right? And you can do it by increasing your maximum health by 5 every time you level up. That's a really good one. And at the start, at this very start, when you very start the very start of the game, when you go straight into a new area, you have a chest. And this chest starts off, I think it was 2 items, and then you can upgrade it, upgrade it to 4 items, then you get an additional item, then you can add power cells, and power cells is basically a currency. Use that currency to buy new weapons throughout the different levels of the game. And you can also unlock doors, like hidden doors and stuff, like vault doors to get to the next area, like a hidden area. You have to have like for example, you need 25 power cells to unlock this door to go through to the next area to unlock a different branch of areas. And so yeah, this is the passive tree, and these are all the stuff that I've unlocked through the hidden items. So I've unlocked the scavenger. Elite enemies have more chance of dropping power cells. Gains an additional jump. So instead of 2, you can normally jump twice in this game, right? Double jump. You can triple jump if you find this item. So I can now triple jump all the time, which is insane because it actually gives me that extra jump to normally where I wouldn't be able to get to a double jump. I can actually get to a triple jump now, and you can then activate the jetpack as well, right? So you can activate the jetpack after the triple jump, and you can pretty much get really super high and go to areas which you can normally get to find items that you normally wouldn't be able to get unless you had them items. And sometimes you get corrupted chests, which is like high level areas, sort of like high you go against elites and stuff like that, and they contain more rewards when you beat them, which is pretty cool, right? You see I've still got two 2 things to unlock. It tells you what they are. So weapon dropped by enemies have more chance of being higher level and quality. So you have quality in this game, same as you do in Borderlands, which is sort of white, blue, purple, and yellow, which is or orange, which is legendary, right? So you have normal, rare, and then purple. I can't remember what purple is, and then you have legendary as well. And you have that sort of same sort of style as you would in Borderlands. And this is a museum. The museum is basically sort of your info dump of games on the game itself. It will tell you all the different weapons you have unlocked. And for example, I unlocked this one. I think you have to get to a certain level or kill so many enemies or something like that. Yeah, I think it's you have to kill so many enemies with it. And then you unlock the skin, and it just tells you about the game, tells you about all the different weapons. As you can see, there is a lot of weapons, dude. A lot of weapons. I mean, let's be real. For this shooter game, you want a lot of weapons, and the weapons feel impactful, right? I will put some gameplay on the screen soon, but this is all the enemies. So there are a lot of enemies, a lot of different types of enemies. These are all the common enemies. These are all the elite enemies. These would be like they won't be bosses, but they'll be like elites that you fight throughout the world. And these are all the bosses I've unlocked so far. I've still got 4 more bosses to fight. These are all ones you pretty much unlock these every time you beat them once, right? So you get the card. And these are all the items. So there's common items you can pick up. These are items that you get when you get to every time you complete a level. You'll get to like a vendor area where you sort of heal up, and then you have whatever currency you have. You can buy shop. You can buy weapons in shops. You can buy upgrades. You can buy passives. And you can sort of level up and upgrade your weapon, level up your weapon to the next tier. So like one star up to like I think it's like 8 star or something, and increase your damage, increase your attack speed, increase your fire rate, increase your critical strike chance, increase your critical strike damage, elemental damage, add elemental damage, switch different elementals around, add stuff like ricochet off walls and stuff like that. There's a lot, dude. There's a lot, and as you can see, that's the common passives you can pick up. These are the superior, which I don't seem to have a lot of. And then fantastic, which is the orange rarity ones. Purples is corrupted, which I've got quite a few of them. And gadgets, which are the stuff I was talking about earlier, which you get by finding the stuff out in the worlds, the hidden stuff. This is all the cinematics that you can see. Once you've unlocked them once, you can come back in and see them again if you want to see them again. And these are all the challenges. So these are just collectibles you go throughout the game, and you'll pick them up, and they'll be like little like info dumps basically, right? They're just like little info collectible things. Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? So this is the world map. So this is where you start. You start at the canyons all the time. It tells you exactly how many collectibles I've missed and how many collectibles I need to get. So I've got 2 out of 8 collectibles, and I've 1 hidden item I haven't found yet in the very first area. And I've played this first area a lot, dude. And I'm missing something, which I don't know where it is. See, in the quarry, I've got all the collectibles. No, I've got all the hidden stuff, but I haven't got all the collectibles. And basically, it's basically telling you you need to find the X amount more collectibles in this area, right? And you can see the white envelopes I haven't even unlocked yet. So for some reason, I go into the Oasis and I always go straight to the fields. I need to find the other hidden area to get to the other fields. As you see, the scrapyard and the pit are stones. These stones you use, and they're like modifiers, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then, as you can see, you go through these areas, you unlock the area, and then go to the next area. And as you can see, we get all the way through here. The ones that are grayed out, I haven't really got much of, or I just went straight past. And you get all the way to here, and then once you get to sort of the Heaven City, it gets really, really hard, dude. If you don't have a good build by now, you're pretty much going to die. And this is on standard mode, let alone the hard difficulties, right? And we have District 7, and then we have the moon. I got to District 7 and died. And I've also got to the moon once and died. But once I got to the moon, I just got shredded because my build wasn't good enough, and they literally just annihilated me, dude. And I was with another random guy. It took me about half an hour to get to there. So it takes you about half an hour from point A all the way to the very last stage, depending on what route you go and stuff like that. You have literally You literally have about half an hour, 40 minutes on a normal run to get from one end to the other. If you haven't experienced everything in the game, if you don't know where you go, and if it's completely new to you, it's going to be about half an hour to 40 minutes. You can probably do it in about 28 minutes to 35 minutes if you know what you're doing. You could probably speed run it in about 25 to 30 if you're really good and you know exactly what you're doing in the game. But if you just want to enjoy yourself, it's about half hour, 40 minutes. Right? And then you have your profile, which is all your stats, my game history, all the people I played with. I say I got to the moon, or you can see I got to the moon on my very last attempt. And this is how many games I played in total, how many crystals I played. I need 2 more crystals that unlocks different stuff. Highest damage dealt is 997. I took down 3,200 enemies, 14 bosses, and my progress is about 42%. My base camp progress, which is where I am now, is about 30%. So I'm like 1/3 there of unlocking all the stuff in the camp, right? So yeah, there's a lot of stuff to do, dude. So in terms of right, so when you find these crystals that we're just seeing in the map, they unlock different things, right? So if you unlock these crystals, they help you out by reducing the enemy count in the last area. So it suppresses the hack files reinforcements on the moon. The moon is the very last area, which I died at, but this is the very last area. You're getting all these items throughout the whole entire areas, all of the game, to get to this last area to help you out. If you don't get these crystals and you try and fight the boss at the end, they will shred you. They will absolutely shred you because they're like super overpowered buffed. So you have to go through these different areas to get these nerfs to nerf the boss down to be able to kill him. If you don't, you can try and you might win, but Jesus Christ, you're gonna have a hard time, right? So these crystals suppress the hack files reinforcements of the moon, reduce Iris's health, which is I think is the last boss, right? Decreases all lasers on the moon, so like defenses and stuff. Open access to the lunar crate, which I haven't got. I need to get that. It's probably some sort of good item, right? Really good item. Reduces the amount of elite enemies on the moon, which is super good because elites are like just sponges at that point, dude, and they do a shit ton of damage. And some of them have like debuff abilities as well, like they flashbang you and you can't see shit, and then they'll shock you, so you have to like do the shock. You have to stay still. And you have a sniper at the other side of the map, right? And he'll just boom, one shot you, and it's just like Jesus Christ. And slow Iris is overcharge speed, so I'm guessing overcharge is probably his attack, like big charge up attack or something. So these crystals, you need to find these crystals to help you out fighting the last boss. And what's this gadget? We've done the gadget rack already, and I think that is pretty much it for this area. Yes, this is pretty much it for this area. Oh, you have a shooting range as well if you want to try your luck and play some mini games, which is basically just shooting the targets. And you got a test dummy here, which tells you how much damage you do. And obviously on the red, normally on the robots, the red spot is a weak spot, so you're shooting in the eye. You get this yellow number come up. The yellow number is critical strike damage, and the white number is just normal damage, right? That's pretty standard stuff, but that is all the stuff for the main hub area. And yeah, that's everything. And now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to the actual in-game gameplay, and I'm going to show you some stuff in the actual in-game game, the gameplay, the shooting style aspects, the build style aspects, the rogue style aspect of the game, and we're just going to jump in and I'm going to show you that now. Okay, so we're back into the combat of RoboQuest. This level is sort of quite far into the game. We're sort of half an hour, 20 minutes, half an hour into the game. The combat in this game is super responsive, super cool. I've had zero issues in performance, bugs, glitches, anything like that. No issues whatsoever. I am using like a Genshi build. I say Genshi. The classes in this game, there is one that's like a Genshi build. I'm going to say Genshi from Overwatch. It's basically you jump up and down. You have high attack damage. You have a sword that does high critical damage. And I basically paired it with the kunai because I thought, why not? It's Genshi. If it's Genshi, you might as well use kunai, right? So I've managed to get myself a legendary kunai. And the kunai does extra, I think it's 3.75 critical damage, 3.75 times critical damage. And I've Got loads of perks. If you see above where my map is in the top right hand corner, below that you'll see all these little symbols underneath. That is the perks. So I have all them perks for this weapon. I've upgraded this weapon as well. This weapon has high critical damage, high reload speed, and high attack speed. And with my perks, so obviously every class has different perks when you level up, and you can increase that damage for your class. For example, in this build I use high critical damage ricochet, so every time I crit I ricochet 50% of that damage to another opponent. That is insanely powerful for a build like this, which has like a 40 to 50% critical strike chance. And this build is just insane, dude. The combat in this game is phenomenal. You play, like I said, you play with just one other guy, random or in a team, like as in your friends list or as in a random person you can just like randomly find. There is a matchmaking system, so you don't have to worry about that. And you go throughout the game, you get different areas, you unlock different weapons, you upgrade your stuff. When you die in this game, like I just did, you press you basically go straight into your teammate's view, and you'll see what he does, and he can either revive you. If he doesn't revive you, you have 60 seconds. As long as he's alive for 60 seconds, you automatically revive anyway. So if he doesn't revive you, you can always just wait and you automatically get revived anyway. But my teammate will revive me because he's a good guy, right? And so you go through these levels, and you see in the top right hand corner we're now going to an orange level. Orange on the map means there's a boss, right? So there's a boss in that area. Just it pre-warns you that you need to go to that area. There's a boss in the orange area. Green areas are usually unlockables. So it'll either be an area like you can go through a door and you can get like heals and items and stuff like that. You get these throughout every single area when you normally when you finish the area. But some of the areas will have like, you have to have a key. You go and you unlock it with a special key you find through the other areas. And then you go into this area and it'll have like unlockables and stuff you can buy and heal you and stuff like that. Some of these later areas have quite a lot of them. They're unlockables you have to find throughout the game, like keys and stuff to do that. So I've now upgraded my level. This is my class level. As you can see, I selected the perk which ricochets on critical damage, which is insane to me because I have a massive critical damage build that has 3.75 damage, critical strike damage multiplier, and it ricochets now 50% of that to other opponents next to the opponent I hit. So as you can see, this build is coming together nicely. And in terms of performance, I'm running this game at 4K 60 FPS with a Intel 4700 or 14700K and a AMD 6800 XT. So it's not actually the most OP PC setup. I've had this PC now for about 4.5 years, and this still runs everything at 4K 60 pretty much perfectly, and this game is no exception. This game runs this perfectly. I literally have zero issues whatsoever with this game at all in terms of performance. I've never had any drops, never had any bugs, never had any issues. It runs smooth as butter, plays smooth as butter, and the combat is exceptionally good because of that. I am surprised how good this runs in terms of performance, just because there's 60-70 AAA games, $60-70 AAA games that run absolutely terrible, and they're supposed to be AAA, right? This is an indie studio. This game is $20 on Steam. This game is free on Game Pass if you have Game Pass Ultimate on Xbox and PC, and it runs 10 times better than some of the AAA big brand companies. And then it completely blows out the water, dude. And it's insane how many indie games are coming out now, or AA, I say AA studios like Hades 2, you got Brotato, you got this game, you got RoboQuest, you got a load of other indie games coming out that absolutely blow these AAA companies out the water, completely destroy them, dude. It's like, why am I paying $70 for this Diablo 4 garbage when I can be paying $20 for this game and having 10 times as much fun with better content? Like, what the hell is going on with the games industry lately? Like, Jesus Christ, dude. Sort of A, if you're going to be AAA, at least make it a AAA experience for the consumer. Do not make it a AAA experience for the investors. Make it for the consumers. then you'll have people buy more stuff off you. Do not go and make a crappy game like Diablo 4. Make a good game like this game for 20 bucks and everyone will love it. And then the next time you bring out a game, everyone will want to buy it. Now what you brought like Diablo 4 out and it's garbage, well guess what? No one's going to want to buy your next game because they think it's going to be garbage, or they're going to hold off or wait for other people or reviewers to do it and see if it's garbage to see if they're going to spend their hard-earned money or not. Anyway, rant over. Back to this game. Like I said, you need special tickets, special keys to unlock some of these doors. And these doors will basically unlock, and you get, I need that key, right? I ain't got that key yet. I need to find that key, and you'll get special stuff. It has a chest in there. It has normally an item in there, and you'll have that unlockable item, and you might get something like a jetpack, which I got last time, or something like triple jump. You start off with 2 jumps in this game, but you unlock a 3rd jump by unlocking an item in this game, by exploring throughout the different areas. And this is just fun, dude. Anyway, so this game's like 20 bucks on Steam. It's on Game Pass. Check this out. I'll put a link in the description below. And if you like this video, hit that like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.